Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful widows watching.
Okay, so Stephen King's The Lawnmower Man. Um, well, this one I wasn't particularly liking too much, so yeah, I'm not gonna have much to say about it. It's also like 10 pages of this mm, thing. It has quite a very slow beginning. I mean, a lot of these short stories do have a slow beginning, but this one just felt like it was out of place and dragging a bit too much. Part of what makes Stephen King really good at writing people is the little details that are put in things. It's just when it comes to putting these short details into a short story, it does feel a bit weird, especially when you kind of led to think it's going in one direction, but it's actually going in this other direction, which is how I felt in this story. It's not what made it bad, but it definitely made the beginning drag a little too much. Because we have this guy who's very proud of his front lawn. He gets a local boy to come and cut his grass until one day a dog chases a cat underneath this lawnmower, and therefore everybody's up in that, like, having a bit of a time with it. Like his wife doesn't see it happen, but she came home to see Harold and the boy clean the blades in front of his daughter and the crying woman who the cat belonged. And it's quite a scene, I can imagine. There's even a line in there with how his daughter had gone and changed just because she had a crush on the boy who cut the grass, and her clothes got ruined, and so she wanted to be a bit more presentable to him. And it's just stuff like that that didn't actually contribute to the story, but just like it's one of those humanizing things. So after that incident, he sold his lawnmower that he had like such proud ownership of, but because his wife has been having nightmares, he sells it just to like calm the house a bit. Which is nice to have a husband consider his wife's feelings in one of these short stories. Oh my goodness, sometimes the characters in these stories are very assholey towards their spouses. Yikes. He sells his lawnmower and he's just going to hire one out, because if he can hire somebody to cut his grass, he can hire the lawnmower as well. So that's his thinking, but eventually he just like doesn't get around to doing it because the boy who came to cut his grass went off to college and he's not around to cut the grass like he used to. So, and it's just like this lovely little commentary on time and how things just slip through without us realizing it. And this is just a lovely little bit. As much as I didn't like the story, that was actually quite well written. Just like that little thing of him realizing how time is passing him by, and he's just not paying much attention to it because he didn't even realize that the boy was at that age. And yeah, but it just feels like as he's letting his lawn like overgrow and become a little dilapidated. Am I even choosing the right word? Like, not taking care of his lawn. He's not actually putting much effort into his life, from the sounds of things anyways. It's not touched upon too much, but because the short story is not about his life or what he's not doing with his life, it's actually about the guy he hires to cut his lawn. Just mm-mm. This is kind of one of the reasons why I don't like this story. Is it's right up Stephen King's like weird alley, but it's just not my jam. I think it's just quite gross. It just grossed me out a bit too much. So he hires this particular service and he's thinking to himself, oh, the people are now getting companies set up just to cut people's grass in the area. And it's just, so he hires them out. This guy turns up and there's that annoying fat phobic line in there. But there's also Harold is psychoanalyzing the guy that turned up, which is very interesting, but you really hate Harold for doing it. But it's just like, he had seen the type before working for the sanitation department and the highway repair crews out on the turnpike, always with a spare minute to lean on their shovels, smoke lucky strikes or camels, looking at you as if they were the salt of the earth, able to hit you for 5 or sleep with your wife anytime they wanted to. Harold had always been slightly afraid of men like this, and it's just kind of Harold's internal commentary on the working class, I guess. Honestly, I hated it. I hated Harold in that moment. I mean, again, Stephen King has this knack for making you hate people, for making you not jive with the main characters. So, that aside, the Lawnmower Man himself got to work on the very long grass that became overgrown. But even before, in the conversation with Harold, he drops this by Cersei in one of the lines he had, and that brings in a different type of what's going on here. Just in the conversation before, and Harold is just like, "What do you mean by Cersei?" Well, else he's like reading the newspaper, waiting for him to get going again. The Lawnmower Man strips naked. The lawnmower itself is not being directed by anybody, it's just going off on its own. And the naked Lawnmower Man is eating the grass behind it as it gets cut. It is so gross, and the annoying fat phobia thing from describing the man's belly has returned because the belly is increasing with the amount of grass. So it's basically this guy is taking the place of the bag that you put on the end or the box you put on the end of your lawnmower, because I'm assuming this was written in a time before people thought to actually put a box on the back of a lawnmower. I don't even know lawnmowers that much, not let alone the history. So I'm assuming it's because of that. And it's a bit gross, but he's like eating away at this grass that's at this freshly cut grass, and ugh. And the idea of doing the whole thing whilst he's naked as well, it just feels like a little inappropriate, but it gives Harold an excuse later on, but we'll get back to that. And as the lawnmower is going, it has a life of its own. It's got its own little sentience, because a mole pops up and sprints for the safety of under the porch, and yeah, the lawnmower doesn't like that, so it's gonna chase after it and mow it down. And the guy who's eating the grass is also eating the shredded mole. It's not great. Ugh, just ugh. But it's enough to make Harold puke and faint. And quite frankly, I felt like I wanted to do the same, but I was in the doctor's when I was reading this, and I couldn't do that. I mean, I suppose I could do that since I was in the doctor's, but I just felt inappropriate. So we had that. And when Harold comes to, the Lawnmower Man is leaning over him, still naked, and he's finished his job. He's finished the job. And so they're having a lovely little conversation about it, and yeah, they were talking about the company that the place is run by, and Harold drops the line, "God bless the grass," and the Lawnmower Man just kind of gets it in his head that he's one of them. He understands And so I find out that Pan, like nature god, is running the company. He's the big boss of the company, and so that's where the whole thing by Cersei is mentioned. So the Lawnmower Man is pretty happy with the job, and there's a mention of a sacrifice, but we assume it was the mole. And then, so the Lawnmower Man is happily leaving, and that gives Harold time to phone the police, and he's trying to report the Lawnmower Man, and then he finally has that strike of inspiration. What am I supposed to report him for? Indecent exposure. So, yeah, but by his frustration about the whole situation, he accidentally says, "For God's sake," down the phone. Like, he proper shouts it down the phone. And that's when he hears the lawnmower again, and it's battering down his door, eating his carpet on the way to him, and the Lawnmower Man is menacingly smiling, going, "You should not have said that." And so he gets chased around his house, around the garden again, with the Lawnmower Man going, "It's time for the sacrifice, I guess." We don't actually get the full thing. We don't get what happens when the lawnmower catches up to him, but we do cut to the police analysing the crime scene. And this is where I really hated it, because the bloody detective is just like going, really blaming Harold for being into some weird shit. Like, he's blaming him for being into some weird stuff. And because there was like the line going, "Where's the rest of him?" "Oh, it's in the bird bath." The line, "Oh, he's a sex maniac." How is that making him a sex maniac? He's literally torn to shreds by a lawnmower. So I just don't like this one. The detective at the end just like sealed the fate, going, "Yeah, no, this is not a good story." I don't know what logic this detective has, like straight from, because he's just like, "Oh yeah," to the rookie. It's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of weirdos and wackos," and it's just like, I hate this guy. I don't like this. I don't know why he's the frigging detective in the first place. Ah, yikes! It's not great. It's not great, because there's no describing how the detective got to that logic. He's just like not open-minded at all, going, "Yeah, no, he phoned the police about indecent exposure, and then this is how they find him. Maybe look into that." I don't know. So yeah, I was not impressed by this one, which is a shame. I've been really enjoying Stephen King's short stories so far, but this one is just, no, I don't. This one is just a step down. I mean, the writing quality is there, but the contents of it is just a bit naff, for lack of a better word. I don't know. You're not going to hit with every single one, so that's fine. Look forward to what's next, because if anything, can only go up. Hopefully the next one's a good one, but won't know for 2 weeks. That's this week's short story. Yeah, not much to say other than didn't like it. Oh well. Bye, Shal.
And bye to all you other wonderful widows watching.
And maybe don't hire people to cut your grass. Maybe. Just